Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and it is Thursday. Yes it is, and this is my final day of KSCRAFT. I think I've been doing KSCRAFT for 7 or 8 days now, so tomorrow I'm going to switch and it's going to be a Panelisa design team haul, and then the following week is going to be makes from that haul. So this is what we're going to do today. This is a mini album Fireplace, and if you look at this piece here, this back piece, this is what will make it into a mini album. I want to do it as a card. So you can see you've got this layer here that separates, and then you've got the fireplace and all of those gorgeous pieces. I've tried to be organised, so I've already got glue all over my fingers, and I've done some bits that I hope to dry. So first of all, before we get into all of the fireplace pieces, I'm going to do the back of the card. Now I'm going to do it as my usual pop-up because it's just so easy for people to do. You can quite literally turn anything into a card. Right, so this is the base. Now you can see it's got a great shape. I don't think it really matters which way round it goes personally. I mean, you can have it that way around if you want to, or that way around. And I've backed mine with white cardstock onto my printed sheet. This is from American Crafts Bundled Up again, and I've cut myself another one. Now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I'm going to have my straight edge at the top and my little bubbledy feet bit at the bottom. Now I've got that back to front, of course, because it's going to be glued that one to that one. And looking at the size of it, it's quite a substantial size, and it's going to hold quite a few embellishments. So I'm going to score it, if you can see that there, at the top of that wibbly wobbly. So I've got wibbly wobbly feet, but I'm going to do it at the top of this one here, so that when it opens out, it will hold a little bit of weight. Now, when you do cards like this, you put all your sentiment and all your writing and everything on the back to whoever you're sending it to, or of course you can put it up there. Right, so the first thing I need to do is score it. So I've got my little scoreboard here. I do link these below in my Amazon links because it's such a great scoreboard. It's a lovely size to keep on your desk. Right, so I need to butt that up there, make sure that it's flat, and this is where we're going. So I'm just quite literally, just take your time. I'm using heavyweight cardstock because if you're doing something like this, really, you want it to be good quality and to stand up. So there we have that. So that's all scored, and that's going to go onto the back, and I just put a little bit of a crease in it. So you can see that there, not much, just enough to suggest to the person that's receiving it that that's exactly what they need to do. Right, now your glue will go above your score line. So that's what I'm doing now. And you'll notice it's a lovely mirror image again. I've noticed Nicole's doing that a lot now, so that you're able to make cards out of things. And it just gives a lovely finish to the back of your card because you've got lovely smooth paper on all sides. So I'm going to get that down onto there, and I need it to be even. So I'm just manoeuvring around. Just pop it down flat and then smooth it with your finger. This bit's up in the air, so it's not going to get stuck. And then we'll have a look and see if I made an error. Yeah. Right, so that has got quite a large flap on it. Will it stand up? Yes, it does. And that's exactly what you need it to do. And it's got enough there to, if you fold it out quite a way, smooth it down again, you're going to get a lovely angle and enough give there when you start putting your weight on. So that is the card base made. Now the next thing we need to do is attach the fireplace. Now these are things that I've cut out already, and once again using the same cardstock from that pack, and the fireplace is going to go onto there. Now try and get it even in the middle if possible. I need to scoot over there a bit and down there a bit, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to put glue on and hope that it's straight. This is a great size, and I will measure it when I've finished. Just do those little bits there, and that'll do for me. So all I need to do now is just make sure that I've got it square onto my card. So I'm just going to pick it up and have a look, because I know I need to go over there a little bit. And then just before you commit, have a good old look. And that looks about right. Slide that down and give it a good old smooth. So now we've got our fireplace mounted onto our card base. Our card base is going to open like that so that people will be able to see the fireplace. Now the next thing that needs to go on is the mantelpiece, and this is a piece that cuts out separately, and I've already cut mine and backed it onto foam pads. So we're going to pop that onto there. And this is the bit that I'm going to put my little Christmas stockings on that also come with the set. So forgive me while I turn it upside down, because it's just easier for me to see that it's straight. And I just match up my edges and then commit. So now if you look at that, you can see, because I've used wood grain, you can't see the embossing, but there is lovely embossed lines along there. So if you use a plain cardstock, you'll see them a lot better. But I just wanted to have my mantelpiece elevated over the fireplace, so I've got that. Right, the next bit is the lovely Greenery swag that comes with it, and you can see it's got lots of holes, so you can put lots of gemstones and all sorts of stuff. And mine's going down like that onto my card. I'm trying to get it even so that it's swagged underneath the mantle, and then onto all of those little holes I'm going to be putting my candy pieces. So that's what's going to be like the little Christmas baubles for me. So I only need a couple of glue points here, because everywhere I put down one of those candy baubles, it's going to stick. So you might as well save your glue. So let's get that even. And I think I have. Let's have a look. Let's just keep turning it to myself. Well, that didn't stick down, did it? Right. Give it a squish, that might help it. Right, I'm pretty sure that that's in the centre for me. So now we've got our Greenery on, we're going to be sticking down a lot of these. So I've just grabbed a handful, and I've got my pickup tool. So I need to put blobs of glue. So because they're so big, I might need to kind of like go off centre from the hole just to be able to hide those holes. And this glue does dry clear. Right, what you see me doing there, I'm going to do it all over those holes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so peppermint candies all over there. They're still a little bit wet, but that's okay. And also with that set, I'm just peeling some glue off my hand, comes bows. Look at those. Aren't those the sweetest bows you ever did see? They are so cute. So they are going to go onto my swag. I'm going to try and put them on like that, a little bit overlapping the mantle, I think. So they've got a little bit of something going on there. So I'm going to glue these on. And hopefully I'm not going to disturb my little peppermints, which aren't quite dry. Now, if you find you've got a problem holding something down like that, then grab a pair of tweezers or anything. I don't use the point, I use that bit, and then just push down. Now, that isn't holding, so I'm going to glue the other one as well, and I'll be back. Okay, so we've got our bows and our little bit of candy, and I cut two really cute little Christmas stockings. So I didn't want to waste my cardstock, and I just cut them in opposites. So my little stockings are going to go into the centre there. So all I'm going to do is pop glue on what would be the little loops. And just hang them on the edge there of my mantle. Ooh, got a little bit of fluff. Don't want that. So now we've got two little stockings on our fireplace. Let's have a close-see. There we go. So we've got our bows, our stockings, our candy. I don't know if you remember those candles that I made last week. I think I'm going to put those down at the bottom just for a little bit of something else. So now we get to the fire, and I use that same paper that I used for the fireplace to do those little logs. So they got a little bit of wood grain effect on them. And I don't know whether I want these glued flat or up on foam pads yet. I may even go for foam pads, I'm not sure. But the flame piece I did earlier before the camera switch on, and I used a little bit of glossy accents and some glitter. I'm not sure if that's fully dry yet, but you got to get your flame right on your fire. That's what I say. So I'm going to play around with this, and it could be that I end up with logs facing in different directions. So let's have a look. I think these are larger ones, so if I go out to the centres here and then put my flame in there, I'm pretty sure I'd be like this if I was actually building a fire, you know. It would have to be like kind of central. But I think I'm going to go for my fireplace like that. So it's the two bottom logs that need gluing on, and I can roughly see where they are, so I'll just go for that. So I'm going there. And then I'll do the one exactly the same for the other side. A little bit of space. And I'm not sure if I should put my flame up on foam pads or just glue it down at one point. No, I'm just going to glue it at the base. So I'm just going to run some glue all the way along there. I was just checking my camera there. I wasn't sure if I was talking to myself or not. Oh, yeah. And now the other logs, I'm going to cross them over a bit. Make it look a bit more fancy. So we only really need to put glue in the middle for this. Because it's going to stick on there like that. So that is the fireplace with the pieces that come with it. But as I said, I did these candles last week, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go totally over the top and put my candles down there. So I'm just going to put a bunch of glue on the bottom, and I'm going to have my big candle here. I'm staying within my stand-up border because you want it to be able to stand up without bashing on anything else. And then I've got my medium sized one here. Bit of glue onto there. Once again, stay within your standing area. And then I've got my tiny one. So I'm going to put this one, I think, next to the medium one. And have it right there. Right, I'm just going to pause for a second while that dries, and I'll be right back. Right, so we're almost dry, and I hope I've got it in a position here where we got a real good close-up. You can see the candle is all within the standing edge of the card. We've got all our lovely beads on there. We've got our little stockings and our cute bows. And the mantle to the fireplace is elevated. Now, does it stand up? That's the thing. This is where I usually make errors. Now, I can tell you this is a heavy card. There you go. So whoever receives that is going to be able to totally look at everything that is on that card. Isn't that sweet? If you wanted to do this vintage style, you could totally do that. You could add a little bit of perspective, so you got a little bit of soot. You could use a printout image of flames so that you've got a real looking fireplace, and then you could have vintagey looking stockings, and use a load of, you know, vintage photo and walnut stain, and you could really make that look distressed and vintaged if you wanted to. But let's measure it because it is glorious. Right, so our made card is, I'm going to say cut line to cut line is 6 inches, and then I'm just going to scoot it around, and we are at just shy, oh no we are, we're at 5.5 inches because we've got those little bobbly bits down there. So that's how big it is, but it's just absolutely glorious. I mean, imagine having that view on your shelf and having something like that. I just think that's absolutely wonderful. And of course it's also a little mini album. Right, that is what I have for you today, and as always, I thank you so much for joining me. Have an absolutely awesome day, and as usual, all links below. Bye.